Welcome to Good Questions, Good Answer. Today we have another interesting question from our audience, and our Venerable Sender helped to solve the riddle again. And well, since today there are many situations going on about the COVID which still not seem to be over just yet. And it causing us to be wondering with many things going on. For example, right now many people stop going to church, going to the temple or do religious activity because they are not allowed to gather with many people around in one place. So that brings to the question in our audience today. Will COVID-19 end the religion? Well, Venerable Sander, what do you think about this problem? Can you help us solve this question today?
Yes, this is a very big thing. I think I've experienced this myself very clearly. Unlike Thailand, in which the COVID crisis is not felt very much in the religion, perhaps, but in here it's very serious. Many temples and churches, but most of them, they don't have anyone coming because of the risk. So our temple now has been closed down for 2 months now. We have all activities have moved online. So I've read about this a bit, and I think it's quite widespread in the West, especially.
I see.
And churches are closed down, but not only in the West, in the Middle East, even in very places which are very religious. Mosques are closed down. People are not going there. And so this only shows that in the present day, people are all affected by the same cause, by COVID. And the fact that we cannot go to visit our place of worship or religious place where we want to go causes religion to change. And the research, like for example, the research agency Gallup, the research company Gallup, they have done research about this, that they concluded that the halting or the stopping of in-person worship, so that means activities together in a place of worship, in the church or in a temple, this is one of the most significant sudden disruptions in the practice of religion in US history. That's what they've said. So in the past 400, 500 years of American history, there never has been any case like this in which all churches had to be closed down. And I think this also holds for the history of Holland, where I am now, and many countries. So this is one of the first times that religion has so much been affected. Of course, we did have a pandemic before, but it was never so worldwide to this extent. We did have, of course, the Spanish fever in 1918, but in those days, it didn't very much affect religion that much as it does now. That is because people also believe more in scientific experts, and there is much more control. This is good on one hand, but on the other hand, it affects religion very much.
I see. So I think it's kind of making things change drastically because people are not acting the way they used to be anymore, and getting together and socialize is kind of like prohibited everywhere.
Right.
And so what do you think it's going to be like for the religion then? Because now people are not allowed to go to the temple.
The question that we really have to ask now is, how is religion going to develop, right?
Yeah.
And so I think the question that is very interesting, because you would think that people not being able to go to church, not being able to go to the temple, not being able to go to the mosque, maybe people become more lazier in religious practice. People
it could be.
become less interested.
Yeah, because
You could
they
conclude
can do
that,
something
right?
else. It's more fun at home.
Yeah, maybe they become less interested. They could be like that. Some people think like that. But it turns out that they have actually done some research about this, and it turns out that actually the last 5 months, there have been more searches on Google for the word prayer than ever before in the last 5 years.
Interesting.
So just the last, I said 5 months, but it's actually the last month. It turns out that people actually searched for the word prayer a lot more than before. And I think you could say the same for meditation, although I don't have research about that. But I'm pretty sure that there's a lot more interested in meditation from people searching online than before.
Yeah.
People are looking for religion, and I think the fact that people are not being able to go to church or go to their temple, it only makes it stronger that they want to practice.
So this kind of like a changing their behavior completely from going out but stay indoor but going into internet more often than before because these of things happen, right?
Right. And it's been shown in studies that after wars and natural disasters, religion even becomes stronger and not becomes weaker.
Yeah,
But the
because
way we practice religion at this point is actually very different. So, like I said, here in the temple, everything we do is online now, apart from this activity that we have online,
yeah.
which Lumpi, which you and me, there is also many online activities that I do for the people here and also in Belgium that speak the Dutch language. So we have that every workday, and except for Wednesday.
See.
And there is also English language activities that I do online. There's a lot more online than before because many people are just looking for answers. They want to calm their mind.
I,
So
I,
there's a lot of need for that.
I think so too because when people are searching for the word prayer, like you just mentioned, they may be because they were fear of their life or they were afraid of dying, so they are seeking a way to calm their mind, seeking for a refuge. It is also one of the
Right,
pattern behavior, right?
right. I agree.
Hmm.
So,
So
but I think we have been able to respond to it reasonably. But if you look around us on the world, in the world, how other people respond, other religious representatives, is very interesting. How creative people can get,
yeah.
like in Australia, um, where our fellow monk Pajan Sudamo is located right now. He
Okay.
actually did a shared celebration with several other Buddhist groups. They did celebration of Vesak, the day of the Buddha's enlightenment and birth. And they did it together with many Buddhist groups. Normally, they do this together in a hall, and that's in a few hours maybe. But that day, they actually made many recordings online, did many broadcasts online, and then they combined it in one single program. It was very beautiful to watch. You could see all the different Buddhist groups talking about the birth and the enlightenment of the Buddha in their own experience.
Wow.
And so it was actually very valuable to see this online.
Yes. It's very creative to adapt to adapt themselves into this actually incident, so that way they can continue to do the activity yearly like that. I think.
Right. Now
Uh,
many people they have when you talk about religion having changed, people quickly think about the Pope, right, who have given his speech. St. Peter's Square, the St. Peter's Square where the Pope normally gives his speech, was completely empty, and this is the image that people have. Oh, now religion is very changed. But there's other images of all sorts of activities that have now started. Some churches have all their services online. Some priests actually give their confessions through drive-through confessions.
that's really funny, but it's very
Yeah,
creative though.
yes, yes, and so it does show that creativity of many people. Here in our temple, we actually have contact with the people when they give donation. We still see them. They come to the temple, but they don't come in. They put the food on the table that they want to give to support, and we receive the food by a very long piece of cloth. So it's like we receive the food on the cloth, and it's like looks respectful to them. but we are not close to each other so that there is no risk for contamination or something like that. So that is ways we can deal with this. And we hope, of course, that it won't last too long, but I think we have to be creative.
Yes. Oh, it won't last too long because actually, to the nature of this world, everything won't last. It's just that they come temporary.
Well, that's something to reflect on as well.
Yes. So, well, as it may seem, we may thought that it may be last. Nothing is permanent.
Right.
So in a situation like this, well, it's kind of like we have to looking for opportunity to turn the negative into opportunity to find a positive way. So people, when they
Right.
are looking for a prayer, maybe they should find this opportunity to start doing more good deed. So this way they can
Exactly.
find a sanctuary of peace in their mind. For example, they can right now I think there are many people start looking for alternative practice or learning about meditation, and do a lot of good things like also donation or making their mind feel peace.
Right. Right. I think many people can still find refuge and calm and peace in doing religious activities during this period.
Yes.
And the fact that we offer meditation in our tradition also helps a lot. People just want to meditate so they can calm their mind and deal with the stress. I have many participants coming from Belgium,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, joining in from Belgium. And they tell me that in Belgium right now, there is the government really tries to restrain the virus. And they do so in many ways that are very restrictive. So for example, there's a new rule now in Belgium that people cannot have contacts with more than 4 people in their friends. So they have to select 4 friends that they're going to associate with for the next month, and they're
Oh.
not able to associate with more than that. So
Oh.
there's actually very kind of odd measures that have been put into place in Belgium to restrict the virus, restrict COVID-19. And people are in stress. When people meditate, they can find some peace, can put things in order in their mind,
Right. Right.
and they can get clarity. Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of like the same quote saying to what the Buddha used to say about people when they were having fear, they're looking for peace or start looking for searching for something.
There's actually one text in which the Buddha said, when someone is overcome and his mind is obsessed by suffering, either he sorrows and laments and beating his breast, he weeps and becomes distraught, or else he undertakes a search externally. Who is there that knows 1 word, 2 words for the cessation of suffering? I say that suffering either ripens in confusion or in search. But this is very interesting because people often, when they think about Buddhism, they think it's about getting rid of suffering, right?
Yeah.
But Buddhism is not only about that, it's also about acknowledging that suffering is there and using it in a wise way, which we sometimes call the noble search, right? Searching in a noble way, in a good and wise way for the end of suffering, for the way to deal with your suffering, not by trying to suppress it, by drinking more alcohol or doing drugs or something like that, but actually by coming to terms with it, by developing wisdom and also to develop stillness of mind. So that is the way we deal with suffering. So it's very important to know that in Buddhism, suffering is a very important part of the religion. We believe that that is the beginning of the human search. And then when we know that we are searching for the end of suffering, then we use the wise way to overcome suffering.
I see. So as it is, maybe this could also help as well when people are reflecting on their daily life, that suffering are also part of their life as well, that they cannot escape, but they can also live with it and use it in order to continue to grow and find a way to removing it from our life very soon. Can you recall about that reflection that they normally do to help? Maybe our audience can use and benefit from this.
Yes. So there is, you're right, of course, that is a very important part of daily practice. So in Thailand, there is a common practice of reciting these 5 daily reflections, which very much ties in with the current situation that we are in now, to reflect on the daily reality of life, that first of all, we all have to become old. We cannot avoid that. Second, we all have to become ill now and then. We cannot avoid that. This is, of course, very much connecting with the current situation. Third, we all have to die one day. We cannot avoid that.
No, we cannot.
And fourth, we must all be separated and parted from all that is dear and beloved to us one day, sooner or later. I mean, the things that we have, the things that we have around us, the people that we love, all of these things and people, they will one day we have to let go of them, because these things will become older. Some things get damaged, some things get destroyed or stolen. People who we love become older, and sometimes they pass away before we pass away. And even if we do not have to let go of things and people around us during the time when we are still alive, we do have to let go when we part this world. So this is a reflection that is very important, and it makes us more stronger and resilient. The last one is about the law of karma. There is a lot of insecurity in life concerning old age, sickness, and death.
Yeah.
But there's also one security, that there is a law of karma, and that everything we do matters. Every good deed we do will reap good fruits.
Well,
and also everything we do bad will also have its results.
That's quite right about that. Well, as we are doing good deed, it also help us to confirm, make us feel more satisfied before we part this world, that we are having no regret or no worries, because all the good deeds eventually will come back to us if we do it right and continue to do it consistently. So, well, I think this also shows the conclusion now that, well, even though the activity to go to the church or gathering at one place, especially at the religion place, could be stopped, but the people deep down inside still looking for a peace for their mind. So that way, they're looking for a place that they can find peace. So this also proves that in the future, even though the activity for people to stop going to church, they still have a way to find themselves a place to gathering online or do activity of finding a happiness in their life. I believe that religion will continue to grow even further, because people are still looking for this and still practice what they believe, that making them find happiness in life. I think this is the good answer for our questions today, that Venerable Sander has solving our problem. And thus, everyone, please continue to practice of meditation or continue to do the good deeds, so that way you can find happiness in life even though you cannot go to the church or go to the temple where you are normally do on your daily life. Whenever COVID-19 is solved and get back into normal, we can resume that activity. So don't lose this opportunity or use this opportunity to find an excuse to stop going to church or stop doing your good deed. This is the way to continue your faith and continue to practice to find happiness in life. And good luck, everyone. We hope to see you again in our next question. Good questions, good answer. Thank you, Venerable Sander, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
See you again next time.